The left has circled the wagons around George Soros, smearing Judicial Watch and others for even asking questions and exposing the truth about the Soros Open Society operation, which I think plans to spend $1 billion this year alone. $1 billion. They're active all over the world, especially in Europe and Central and South America. And Judicial Watch has been asking questions about taxpayer funding for the Soros operations. Why is George Soros getting your tax dollars to advance an agenda that would never survive a vote in Congress or not be supported by the president, but is supported by the bureaucrats at the State Department? It happened during the Obama administration. As best I can tell, the funding continues during the Trump administration. So that's the work we're going to keep on doing. And we're not going to be cowed by hardcore leftists who are desperate to protect George Soros from being held accountable. So we have new documents that we released this week from the State Department as a result of a lawsuit. Again, we had to sue to get basic information about how your money's being spent, especially with respect to George Soros. And he has an Open Society Foundation in Romania. And the documents show that top Soros representatives in Romania collaborated with the State Department in a program funded by, among others, the Open Society Foundation, a Soros operation in Romania, and USAID, which is a vehicle for getting foreign funding and foreign aid out to groups abroad by our government, your tax dollars. It's called the Open Government Partnership. It's not about open government, by the way. It's about left-wing government. You can look it up. You can see it's a left-wing operation using the guise of open government. Because who's against open government? We're not against open government. So the documents show that the State Department's official on the ground in Romania was regularly meeting with the Soros person who, Ovidiu Voiciu, I think his name. It's O-V-I-D-I-U. Last name is V-O-I-C-U. He's executive director of the Romanian non-governmental organization called the Center for Public Innovation, which describes itself as a spin-off of Soros's Open Society Foundation Romania. So this State Department official is sending out emails, saying, hey, join us for a conversation with this guy. He sends out another email to a Romanian government saying that he had a meeting with an Open Society Romania colleague regarding the possibility of Romania committing to this left-wing enterprise called Open Government, the Open Government Partnership. And this is how the State Department describes Soros's operations in Romania. Since 1990, the Soros Foundation for Open Society was one of the main donors in Romania and other former communist countries, financing sociological research, education, social inclusion, good governance, civic culture, and integrated community intervention. Okay, those are all George Soros is a hardcore leftist. He supports leftism and socialism. Okay, so this is a dishonest description of it. Some of those are social inclusion. I don't know what that means. Sociological research, I don't know what that means. But you can imagine it means something different for the left than it does for conservatives. The most influential Romanian NGOs, as well as politicians, researchers, and other players who had scholarships abroad, benefited by its financing. Now, of course, there's been a pushback against Soros in Europe for this meddling that the State Department details for you. The main donors in Romania and other former communist countries. So the left would have you believe that Soros isn't doing anything in these countries, but the State Department confirms he's one of the main donors in these countries. And in Romania specifically, the most was behind funding some of the most influential people in Romania. And so when governments in those countries react, they're reacting against George Soros pushing his agenda through these nonprofit NGOs and other activities, and again, partnering with the State Department to push it. We have the documents. Now, you know, we have an entire special counsel investigating Russia influence here in the United States, illegal Russia influence here in the United States, right? But other countries are not allowed to object to the presence of foreign-funded NGOs advocating a specific political agenda. How's that work? As I said, the Soros groups are getting the left-wing media to try to attack anyone who criticizes him, but we're not going to be cowed. We've got 3 lawsuits on Soros. We have a special report on Soros's funding of NGOs in Guatemala. Read that. Go to our website. We'll put it up on our feed here too. They don't want you to know the truth that the State Department and George Soros have been working closely together, and they get tens of millions. The Soros Open Society Foundations gets not only the kind of official stamp of approval by State Department officials in other countries, but they're able to get our money as well. Tens of millions of dollars. We have the documents. So the left doesn't want you to know about this. So this is why I come on and talk about it, because you won't hear about it anywhere else but from Judicial Watch.